Welcome back, YouTubers, to another Q&A Wednesday with us, the British Fist.
Judging.
I've got that one right. Yes, it is Wednesdays, isn't it? I forget these things sometimes. I am Mr. Parkin. This guy sitting right next to me here is NJ.
What's up?
And after your excitement of seeing Brock Lesnar demolish John Cena at SummerSlam, I imagine you're in a pretty good mood right now, NJ?
Watched it a few times.
How many times?
Lost count.
50? 100?
Could be that close.
Will it get into the thousands?
All I can say is they've done it right this year. They've done it right. I'm happy.
Can I say, if you get 1,000 views, you're just going to give the WWE $1?
$1 per 1,000.
That's generally how it works on YouTube, people.
$9.99.
Oh no, you'd have to do 9,990 views to do that.
Yes. Anyway, let's go.
Anyway, if you have any questions for us, please put them down in the comment section below. We're back to normal this week. Last week was our SummerSlam Q&A. We're going to go back to the normal, general, non-SummerSlam related questions. Although if you did ask us a SummerSlam related question, it had been answered in last week's Q&A. Trey Top Dog Ellis with a good question to start with. How much of the WWE's decline do you attribute to Michael Cole's poor ability to build the importance of a match in the mind of an audience, both before and during the match? He's been with WWE for 15 years and still doesn't know what half the move seems to be. It seems like he's faking all his enthusiasm. Remember the days when Jim Ross would get so animated and emotional about a match that you couldn't help but be more interested and invested in the match? Your take. So is Michael Cole's poor storytelling or poor attributing to develop an ability to storytell ruining the WWE?
My quick opinion is no. I'm more tolerable of Michael Cole than I am of stupid Jerry King Lawler, who seems to have lost it within the last decade.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry the King Lawler has lost it a little bit. I mean, to be honest with you, I do feel for Michael Cole and the people on WWE just a little bit, especially the writers, as they're doing 2 shows a week, they're traveling around, and, you know, it's just going to be so tiresome to really bring that enthusiasm every single week for the WWE, 52 weeks a year on Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, and other events that he does. But I must admit, I don't think Michael Cole's ability to tell a story is anywhere near as well as JR. But JR had a different way of doing it, so and that just suited the era, which was the Attitude Era. Now, Michael Cole's, I'm not saying his is brilliant or anything, but, you know, he's going to be talking to a load of kids. And do the kids want to be knowing the complexions of what each move is? I don't fucking think so.
Well, the thing is, I said this before, the whole commentator team, apart from possibly JBL, should be replaced. And they've got Michael Cole as the centerpiece talker. And I just feel they should just redo it.
Well, here's a question then. With all the years that WWE have invested into Michael Cole, he's become a pretty good adversary for WWE. He's obviously very loyal to the WWE. He's been there, what, 15, 16, 17 years now. How do you replace that, is my question, I guess.
Well, I'm more okay with Michael Cole in some fans, but for the sake of this question, I don't think he has to be removed altogether. Just another job role, just so the on-screen weekly commentator stuff could be done in a way where we're not going to get questions like this.
So you would have Michael Cole as more of a color commentator?
He's maybe not even on commentary. Maybe completely something else in the WWE, but still seen weekly.
Go back to his backstage job that he had so many times that we used to always call him Mouse Boy. Yeah, I don't want interviewed. Yeah, Michael Cole. Yeah, I'm not in a war. We don't want to be interviewed. LB Clash of Kings. Do you think WWE should have retired the Whateverweight Championship when they unified it with the WWE title, or do you like it as it currently is being represented now? Because when WWE unified the other belts, they ended up defunct one of the titles. Also, I think it's long overdue that WWE should have replaced or got rid of the US title. I mean, I believe on Raw, and it's not happened yet, they're going to debut a new championship from what I've heard. I think it's going to be like the new logo on it or something. But I must admit, the way they retired it with John Cena handing it over to Ric Flair, I thought that was going to be the retiring of the 2 belts, and then all of a sudden Cena had him hanging around his neck again. And, you know, I thought that would have been a good way to do it, but obviously they're going to make a new belt for the 2nd time in about 2 years.
I'll split this into 2. Number 1, I feel that they're making another belt. So they've spent loads of money on the one that Rock brought in. Now they're probably spending another load on another belt. It's just stupid. What they should do is maybe, because we've got Brock Lesnar and the great of Paul Heyman, Paul Heyman should be the one to scrap one belt and keep the one that Rock brought in, or something along those lines. I don't feel all this spending lots of money to make new belts, to have 2 belts when it's meant to be just a 1 championship. It's just stupid.
For a minute, I thought you were going to suggest that they give Paul Heyman the World Heavyweight Championship.
Could do. He is one half of the one who defeated the Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania.
So Brock Lesnar's the half.
He's the other half.
Right, okay, so it's a 2... Basically, it was a 2-on-1. Where were we? Oh, yeah, opinions about TNA bringing back the 6-sided ring. I think it's a step forward in helping TNA regain their identity in North American wrestling promotions to possibly help for a better TNA to be great like they used to be, and with 6 dots. So the TNA, number one, they're moving to Wednesdays just because they didn't want the competition from everyone, and they only had a week to hype it up, which shows you like that. And then their deal with Spike runs out in like October, I believe, September, and they need to find a new TV. I mean, just bringing back the 6-sided ring wasn't going to be the main thing that was going to make TNA into a more viable promotion again. It was just going to take a lot more than that. It was the management of the company, the advertising, the marketing of the company which needed to improve.
2 great things about TNA. Number one is the fact that they can move to Wednesday when they're meant to be almost going out of business must mean they've got something up their sleeve. And the second thing is their ratings have improved over the last few weeks, so maybe somewhere someone's going to like this magical improvement and give them another deal.
Well, to be honest, I just wonder if they can actually maintain the ratings, and they probably won't be able to now because they're moving to Wednesdays, and when this Wednesday's show is going to be a massive ratings bust because no one's going to know they're on fucking Wednesdays because they only had a week to hype it up, which isn't their fault. It's fucking Spike TV's fault, but there you go. TNA, yeah, just don't really know what to say. The 6-sided ring was never going to help as an entity, was just never going to help the company as a whole. But good luck to them in finding a new TV deal if they can. Robert Hernandez. Would you rather have Brock Lesnar beat Undertaker at WrestleMania or have Cena break Flair's title record? Probably Cena breaking Flair's title record because you know it's going to happen at some point. So I just thought I might as well go with that.
A part of me is, yes, I think that with the fact that the WWE have screwed Cena over, or Cena screwed himself over with these amount of title wins he's had, going to 16 is easy peasy for him. But we all knew that Undertaker was going to retire at some point. Do I agree with it being Brock? Not so much. But, you know, that is probably more respectful, shall we say, because Undertaker's retired against someone who he wanted in some story than John Cena passing Ric Flair, guy who he should not really be there at.
Well, to be honest, it's going to happen anyway, so we might as well just accept it. Seamus Delan, I hope I pronounced that correctly, with a good question. Do you think 2nd and 3rd generation wrestlers are under too much pressure to be like their parents and grandparents and have trouble stepping out of their shadow of the previous generation? Some do. I really think so. Some have a real real trouble in doing that. But that's mainly because, you know, WWE think it's a good thing that they actually bring in their family, and to some degree, if they can handle it, it is a good thing, like you're demonstrating there. But, you know, I think the problem is these 2nd and 3rd generation wrestlers need to be their own people. They need to be their own characters. They need to be themselves, not be like their... I mean, like, you look at Randy Orton. You remember him as Randy Orton. You don't remember him as Cowboy Bob Orton's son, do you?
Not
exactly.
Thing is, I feel that some of them, like in storyline, I want to be better than my dad. I want to prove that I can shine in my dad's shoes and all that. But as off-screen thing, I think everyone wants to do their best and pride. And I feel with the likes of the Rhodes family, maybe it's easier on them. But Orton, I feel that he's obviously past what his dad was.
I mean, you look at a guy like Bray Wyatt now. I know his family heritage, but you're going to say he's probably in that position now where he's in that era where he will be a star. Whereas I believe, you know, his family and the Mulligan family, etc., was probably in an era where they would have been stars, but that back then with all the star power that was around and how big the business was, etc., it just was never going to happen. So it's a different era and different, you know, even though they may not be as good, they may be even bigger stars than their parents or grandparents. It's just the era we're in, really, in stars. Ash RP Blonde. Have either of you listened to Chris Jericho's new radio podcast where he interviews wrestlers and other people? I've listened to a few of them. I've listened to the one with Edge, and whenever I hear an interesting name like Edge or like someone like a Chavo Guerrero or something like that, I do make sure to give it a listen every now and then. I don't listen to it every week like I do the Solo Monster Sounds Off and the Don Tony and Kevin Castle show, for example. I listen to it occasionally.
With one of my YouTube friends, Ross Parks, who's really into all these different podcasts, Chris Jericho and Austin's are the main two that grabs the attention. So with Chris Jericho's, I've listened to ones that he's suggested, so I'd say some but not all of them.
Jack Johnson. Who is your favourite technical wrestler? Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Hardcore wrestler?
Mick Foley.
Foley. Spot Monkey? Jeff Hardy?
I'm close saying that, but I was saying Kofi Kingston. I love his spots.
Okay. Oh, you mean the Royal Rumble spots and stuff like that? Yeah, that's true. I remember when I used to like John Morrison. God, yeah. Jobber. I must admit, Rockstar Spud is a pretty entertaining jobber. Santino, yeah, I mean, that's more of a comedy character, but yeah, jobber. Manager.
Paul Heyman.
I mean, to be honest, if I was 10 years older, I probably would say someone like a Bobby Heenan, but because I've only been around for so long, I'll have to say Paul Heyman. Jersey 12361. What wrestler in WWE needs a manager? Who doesn't have mic skills that needs a manager that doesn't currently have a manager? Can't be TNA, it has to be WWE.
It has to be WWE.
I mean, like Kofi Kingston, I mean, he can't really talk, but a manager would only really suit him if he turned heel. Biggie Langston could do with a manager because I don't really think he can talk incredibly well.
It's hard to say because I feel that I could say Lights who would do great being a Paul Heyman guy, but I want to avoid that. To be honest, there's not many names that are jumping to mind right now.
True. Matt Hennessy. Why did WWE not give the following people world titles? John Morrison, Matt Hardy, and Shelton Benjamin. John Morrison looked to be going in the main event in both 2011. Matt Hardy looked to overcome the world champion in 2005 up to 2008. And Shelton Benjamin got a big push when he came, and then WWE fucked him over with the Mama gimmick. Yeah, well, I mean, obviously John Morrison didn't get the title run because he didn't really have much charisma. He didn't really have the mic skills department. Matt Hardy,
Jeff Hardy feud.
Again, but it was like he was never going to get to the level of Jeff Hardy. So why would you make Matt Hardy, who's essentially a mid-card, a world champion? It would just make you look second-rate. I mean, not even TNA gave Matt Hardy their championship. Not even ROH would do that. Finally, Shelton Benjamin. Again, it's just one of those guys. He was very, very good in the ring. Maybe average on the mic. But could WWE really put their stock into Shelton Benjamin? I don't think so. It's just one of those things you kind of need to just be inside the business, I guess, to know about.
Back in the day, you say world champ. Yeah, to be honest, all three names could have held it once.
World heavyweight, yes.
They're all getting a push. They were all doing it. I think Shelton Benjamin, the gold standard stuff. Yes, the Mama thing did ruin him. John Morrison, yeah, he was slowly getting up there, but not as quick. Matt Hardy, maybe for a short period, but in likelihood, I think probably gold standard.
Gold standard, you mean Ross on YouTube?
No, not him. He doesn't deserve it.
Triple zero. I got 3 zeros on my name. I'm bad. MD, DM. Here's one. I got 4 letters in my name. I'm bad. Here's one. Do you think fans fail to see the bigger picture with Cena? I'm not a fan, but even I see that him winning the belt was the best option, considering that he would most likely drop the belt to Lesnar, and anyone else would have maybe damaged them. Orton and Kane wouldn't have mattered. Yes. I think you're talking about the Battleground main event here. I do believe that the right decision was to have Cena win. I mean, if you had Reigns win, I don't really think he would have been totally ready for it, and it would have been such a really mediocre way of giving him the belt. Kane being the world champ, no. Orton being the world champ after the year he's had, come on, he's already been the world champ. I think Cena was, and you wanted to lead to a big money match between Cena and Lesnar. I mean, would Lesnar and Orton would have sold? Would Lesnar and Reigns would that have sold at SummerSlam? No. So I think Cena winning there was the perfect thing. And I do think a lot of fans are very stuck in their I don't like John Cena ways to see that sometimes.
As much as I was happy that John Cena was going to lose, it's pretty much written in the sand. I was partly thinking Reigns. The reason I say Reigns is because the WWE, or spoilers were saying, they were going to have Cesaro versus Lesnar. So what makes Cesaro ready to face Lesnar, but not someone like Roman Reigns, who the WWE are actually pushing?
You know why? because the internet fans like Cesaro and they're not a massive fan of Roman Reigns, which automatically means that Cesaro is allowed to have a match against Brock Lesnar in the internet wrestling community's rules, but not Roman Reigns. The rules. I'm sorry, but we have to abide by the rules. Roman Reigns is here, Cesaro is there, even though in reality Roman Reigns is up here and Cesaro is down here.
There we go then.
Just saying. Also, every time Cena wins, it's automatically a burial. Do you think fans misuse the word burial? They scream it after every time their favourite wrestler loses. It's not... Okay. It's to do with the way that John Cena wins a lot of his matches. It's just same old BS way. He feuds against the Bray Wyatt. You know, look where Bray Wyatt's stock has gone. He feuds against Ryback. Look where Ryback's stock has gone. He will possibly feud against Rusev in the future.
Sandow.
Damien Sandow, exactly. He'll possibly feud with Rusev in the future, and Rusev's stock will go down. It's just the way that every time Cena seems to feud with someone, their stock seems to go from there to down there. That's kind of like what they mean by a burial, even though it really isn't. Anything to add to that?
All I can say is that the likes of John Cena going against these guys is a great opportunity, but what John Cena does to these names by the end of the match is pretty much a burial. We go back to Ziggler, Barrett.
The Nexus, yeah, that was pretty much a burial.
Yes.
The Neon Brick. If you could pick anyone to be the poster boy of WWE and make him a world champion, who would it be? Probably at this moment in time, probably Roman Reigns.
They wanted it to be, obviously, Daniel Bryan, but he's had bad luck. But right here, right now, I would love to say Bray Wyatt, even though people are complaining about him, but Roman Reigns is the one that the WWE are.
I mean, you look at, obviously, this time, like 6 months ago, you would have said Bray Wyatt, wouldn't you? Just the way he was being pushed and the way he felt like a real big star, unique character on the show. And then now you see WWE pushing Roman Reigns, and you can see why. He's got the kind of look that they think seems to work when it comes to drawing money. So, obviously, it would be Roman Reigns with Bray Wyatt in a close second, if they can regain his momentum.
And the third one will be Triple H.
Yes, definitely. Howard Starr. Why is it that when tag teams break up, the heel grows facial hair or wears a suit and the face just jobs out? Well, to be honest with you, you look at many tag teams over the year and they both just ended up jobbing out.
Time.
I mean, look at prime time players. Tyson Hill had a heel run, and you knew that because it was happening just before WrestleMania, they were never going to do anything with it.
No, and I hate the breaking of the tag teams because there's about 4 tag teams that jumped to mind, and the WWE wanted to push one, it failed, and then it came crushed up both of them.
Well, the breaking of the tag teams can be a good thing if WWE actually, do something with it. The problem with a lot of tag teams in WWE is, let's say the Hart Foundation. You broke up the Hart Foundation. Which one of those two was you really going to push to a big level? None. So you might as well have just kept them together. You're not really going to be able to push either one of them, like Tyson Kidd or whoever the other fucking one was. I can't remember his name, and we're not going to bother because he's very irrelevant here. That's the one.
There's only one tag team that I feel that there's many tag teams I disagree with the breakup. There's one tag team I'm going to agree eventually, possibly next calendar year, is none other than the Goldusts.
I was going to say the Shield, maybe the Hardy Boys, definitely the Dudley Boys later on. So, I mean, there are a couple that work, but a lot of them don't, as we've said. Abdullah Shakar. Who do you think will win the next year's Royal Rumble? Probably Roman Reigns.
Many people have said that, so I wouldn't be surprised if the WWE do it. But I don't think Roman Reigns needs the Rumble win to do it. Yes, it will give him another WrestleMania moment, but I'm looking at other likes of other wrestlers that could eventually build their way up there. But I could say Daniel Bryan. I could say the fact that someone surprised us if they get a push near the time, Bray Wyatt. But Roman Reigns is the biggest, most popular choice. Yeah,
I mean, if it was a case of they can go after the World Heavyweight Championship like it was 2 or 3 years ago, then I would say maybe we could expect a surprise. But now with the Royal Rumble winner going up possibly against Brock Lesnar, with him being the champion right now, you never know who the champion's going to be, but I'm just saying, there's a strong possibility it's going to have to be a new and rising big star like a Roman Reigns, because that is probably more than likely going to main event, and you can't just have any old jabroni. Actually, you can't just have any old jabroni win the Royal Rumble now. You just can't.
Rock could win the Rumble.
Oh, yeah, he could win. Yeah, whatever. Will Roman Reigns be WWE World Heavyweight Champion at WrestleMania 31? I still think that's WWE's plan. I just think the only problem is that I just hope the fans don't turn on him and think he's another Cena.
I feel with Roman Reigns' booking recently and the WWE always emphasising Reigns, yes, it was occasionally Orton recently, but I think that Daniel Bryan was almost getting the John Cena booking. Reigns has more of a chance to get it, so sadly it could happen.
And that has been another Q&A on this, pretty much on the 20-minute mark. If you have any questions, like we said, please put them in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching this Q&A, and to hand us out here, we'll have NJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has been another Q&A from the British Fist. We have Mr. Parkin and me, NJ, and if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you! Suck it!